What's going on, guys? Welcome into Rover Sports here at night. First off, enjoyed the Summer League tonight. Thought that the Jazz-Sixers game was a lot more compelling. I know that, we do a show here in Philadelphia and that the 76ers are, a team that we cover, but we cover teams around the league, and it just seemed like tonight, other than Jayson Tatum on the Celtics, there's not too many exciting players. I mean, Jaylen Brown tonight, he just wasn't aggressive. Like, mentally, he just didn't have that killer instinct tonight. He did not shoot the basketball a lot. When he did shoot it, the shot was flat, oftentimes came up short. And in his second year, he just didn't seem like the alpha. And Jaylen Brown in the half court, I mean, he had a couple of drives that were decent drives, but he's just not a guy to take over a game. And Jaylen Brown's going to be a fine defender, but I'd mark Jaylen Brown more in that Marcus Smart kind of range. You can find guys like Jaylen Brown in the second round of the draft, not with a top 3 pick. And for Josh Jackson, he's going to have to learn how to play a little bit of isolation basketball, or he might turn into another Jaylen Brown, which is just an athlete with, a below-average shot and a guy that doesn't cut exceptionally well, not an unbelievable ball handler. And Jaylen Brown, he needs to get a little stronger. He hung in the air and made one floater tonight. I know that it's just one game, but if you watch Jaylen Brown and just saw his persona, he couldn't back up his performance he had against the 76ers. And I don't know if San Antonio keyed on him or not. Bottom line is Jaylen Brown was a completely other player the other night. And I look at Jaylen Brown, and he's a guy that if I were a Celtic fan, I would – he's sort of, I think Jay Crowder's a lot further along than Jaylen Brown. There's a reason why Jaylen Brown didn't play that many minutes last year. Offensively, he doesn't have a mid-range game. He's a guy that on the break can maybe finish plays. He is a good defender. I will definitely give Jaylen Brown that. But offensively, I'm just not sold on Jaylen Brown. Doesn't call for the ball, not aggressive, doesn't go to the hole, doesn't know how to finish, doesn't know how to play angles off the glass. He's a raw product. I know he's only 19 years old, but I just don't see the ceiling for this guy. I don't think he's going to turn into a very good three-point shooter. He's not like a Jay Crowder body. Jay Crowder's a lot bigger guy than Jaylen Brown. So Jaylen Brown, explosive first step, going to need to pass a little bit better. Certainly the guy has a role on the team, but he's just not. I don't think he's a starter on a championship team. I think he's a guy that comes off the bench, gives you a defensive lift, can play defense, and hopefully his career, if he develops a shot, at the very best, he's an Iguodala, but I definitely don't see him reaching that potential. Reminds me of that kid Goodwin out of Kentucky. Just as an offensive player, I just don't think that he's ever going to be a guy that you can count on reliably in the offense. On the other side of the coin, Jayson Tatum is a potential star in the making. If I were the Celtics, you cannot deal this guy. I mean, this guy tonight was absolutely fantastic once again. I believe he had around 21 points, cutting, moving without the ball, isolation. The long arms of Tatum that really is throughout the draft process. When you look at Jayson Tatum, he's a guy that can finish through contact at Duke, but he has a 7-inch wingspan. And the way he shoots the ball, when he's fading away, it's impossible to block his shot. He's a very similar shot to Kevin Durant, shoots it just left of his left eyeball. A little left to right shot. When you watch Jayson Tatum shoot from the left baseline, it's a little left to right shot. Tonight he had a pump fake, and then he was able to hit a three after he pump faked over a defender. Jayson Tatum, going to be a great shooter, could score at all 3 levels, and brings it every single night, is a perfectionist, tremendous footwork beyond his years. The Celtics clearly made the right decision. If they were going to draft Josh Jackson, you'd get another Jaylen Brown, maybe an improved Jaylen Brown with more athletic ability. But Josh Jackson is going to take time. And I know that the Celtics have Devin Booker, but can Josh Jackson, and in this NBA, it's important to be able to shoot the ball at all three levels, to be able to really shoot it. And Jayson Tatum has that ability, and Jaylen Brown tonight, just he sometimes can stand in the corner. I know Tatum, if I were to be critical, he could certainly take plays off. Now maybe Tatum's saying, I'm the rookie. I don't want to have to shoot all the shots. During Summer League, it's common courtesy to let other guys, have their shine. And maybe that's what Jaylen Brown was doing tonight. But I thought it was just a quiet performance from Jaylen Brown. Wasn't that excited with Jaylen Brown tonight. And if you're going to try to read into his performance tonight, it certainly was disappointing, especially after last night where he scored at all three levels, where he hit a couple threes. The shot's going to come and go. It's probably not going to be there for most of his career. He's going to be a guy that's going to have to crash the glass, going to have to score in other ways. I don't think he's going to develop a mid-range game. He's a defender. He's a guy that can run on the fast break. He's Nerlens Noel as a small forward in the NBA, which is fine. He's a role player. But Jayson Tatum is special. That's the bottom line. You cannot trade Jayson Tatum. You need to keep him there with Gordon Hayward. Let both of those guys play on the floor at the same time. I bet Avery Bradley's probably going to be gone, and that's a little disappointing. If you're the Celtics, Avery Bradley's a guy that's improved his shot. When he's healthy, he's a first-team NBA defender. I don't care, how the NBA people put it. Avery Bradley he's a top-flight NBA defender, so that's the bottom line there. Okay, Avery Bradley I would definitely keep. Marcus, not a terrific shooter, but love his persona. If you're going to get rid of a guy, probably Crowder can go. Avery is a piece. Unfortunately, you might have to let him go, but Avery's a good shooting guard. He's a little smaller, a little quicker, very versatile. Everybody else you could trade. You could trade Olynyk. Marcus Smart probably is going to move on. And then with the Brooklyn pick, you're probably going to end up drafting your point guard of the future. To tell you the truth, if you look at this point guard draft for the Celtics, you have guys like Dennis Smith, De'Aaron Fox, even Markelle Fultz. Markelle Fultz would have been they all would have been better options than Isaiah Thomas. But you look at the Celtics now, you have Hayward, you have Jayson Tatum, you have Al Horford. If you keep Avery Bradley, you're going to still have a pretty deep bench. Hopefully Jerebko can play more this year. So, and then you're going to have Jaylen still probably going to be in the fold, and he's going to be able to play defense and play more for you this year. You still have, I think with Horford, Hayward, Tatum immediately is catapulted into the top of the lineup. And if you could keep Avery Bradley, you're going to have a chance. You're going to need Tatum to be tremendous this year. You're going to need Isaiah Thomas to be healthy and playing his best basketball, although I don't really see it. I'm not the biggest Isaiah Thomas fan. Great personality, tremendous kid, can catch fire offensively, can utilize screens. But in terms of being the point guard of the future, in terms of setting up Hayward and Tatum, and potentially maybe an Anthony Davis down the line, I just think you need a bigger body, a guy who can play at both ends. A guy like a Dennis Smith or a Markelle would have even fit better than Isaiah can. But Isaiah's going to get a crack at it, and we'll see if he can create magic this year. The other game, Dante Exum. He's impressive. I know he's a 4-year guy. I know that he's the college kid still trying to date the high school girl here in the summer league. I know that he's a senior. He's a 22-year-old kid going back to the high school prom, and he's the big man on campus. And guy's playing well. Got to give him his props. But the thing about Exum that's exciting is Exum, slow release. He shoots it way to the right of his head, and it's hard to be consistent when you shoot the ball way to the right of your head. But Dante Exum is hitting his shots, and Dante Exum is long. He's learning how to finish. He happens to be really mentoring the young kids. Ricky Rubio's going to come into town, and hopefully Rubio, another foreign player, can teach Dante Exum some more tricks of the trade. And then how about Donovan Mitchell from Louisville? This guy is absolutely a guy that can contribute day one. I mean, he is a guy who was hitting shots all over the map. The play that really defined his excellence in the summer league was when he deflected a ball down the right-hand sideline, had a, behind the back pass to Dante Exum for the finish, the mid-ranger, the cap off the game, again, scoring at all three levels, a guy who's going to hustle, a guy who's going to knock down threes. He plays like Victor Oladipo, like Thunder fans wanted Oladipo to play. Guy's a knockdown shooter, and I think he's a steal at the value. He has been so impressive in this summer league, just oozing with confidence, and he's been playing just tremendous, and he's a guy that's going to come in and rock immediately. His ceiling isn't as high as Jayson Tatum. He's not like he's not a transcendent talent, but the guy's going to come in with Rodney Hood. He has a clear role. It's very exciting, a very, very likable player, tons of passion on both ends of the floor. Let's talk about the Sixers a little bit. My boy Jonah Bolden, kind of looking more like Channing Frye. Unfortunately, looking one-dimensional when he's not hitting his shots. Looking like a second-rounder tonight, unfortunately. A lot of missed shots from Jonah Bolden. I wish Jonah would have played a little bit better. I like how Jonah's dribbling the ball. He's going to have to show some Draymond Green tendencies of being versatile if he wants to have a chance to sniff this ball club and make this team. Then you look at Markelle Fultz hitting big shots. Letting the offense come to him. A nice second half from Markelle Fultz. Still a couple of mistakes here and there, but the shots coming along. Beautiful drives to the hole, shots off the glass. Solid performance. Again, Dante Exum is a flat-out beast. Especially in the summer league, Dante Exum is a beast. He's in the NBA, that remains to be seen. So Markelle, impressive second half, showed heart. And the guy is clearing away the best player on the Sixers Summer League. Kirkmon Forkma's first game in, the United States of America. And this guy tonight was pretty much invisible. I mean, I had more effect on the game than Furkan did. Very thin, very frail. Shoots the ball. I like it. He kind of shoots exactly like Jayson Tatum, a little bit to the left of his head with a little left to right. I think the guy could be a knockdown shooter. Certainly a project. Going to be exciting seeing him. He's going to go probably to Newark, Delaware, be a part of the 67ers this year. But he'll be on the 15 roster somehow, and it's just good to get the guy in the States. And he's going to need time in Utah, and then he's going to go to Nevada for the Las Vegas portion as well. For the Spurs, most boring summer league team by far because they always have veterans. They're like watching the Patriots play preseason football, never exciting. The Jets and teams that are constantly in flux, like the Kings and the Jets, the Magic, the Bills, Browns, teams that never really have that leadership and that core are tremendous watches in the preseason. So the Spurs, you're always watching like to see guys like try to get backup minutes. Tonight you had Dejounte Murray from Washington. And he was just awful. Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. He was horrendous tonight. Couldn't shoot. Ugly shot. He is long. He does have long arms, which is the NBA prototype. And the guy is a pretty good ball handler and can make some plays happen. My guy, though, from Michigan State, Bryn Forbes, stole the show. Knockdown shooter. He had some of the prettiest floaters I've seen in a while, hoisting the ball high off the glass. The Spurs also had this white dude that could shoot threes really well, this Euro dude. The Spurs just hustling hard, Corey Jefferson. But my man, Bryn Forbes, I mean, this guy, he's like Rashard Lewis shooting the ball, elbows in tight, not the highest arc, but the ball just zooms right off his fingertips in the basket. The guy can flat out fill it up, made a 4-point play. He had like 29 points tonight. Bryn Forbes, the player of the night in the Utah Summer League. He was just absolutely everywhere, Bryn Forbes. So Bryn Forbes, unbelievable performance. And then my guy from Colorado, Derek White. I mean, this dude's fearless. He's going in amongst the trees. Tremendous drives to the left and to the right side of the rim. Tonight, Derek White beats Dejounte Murray handily. Derek White, I know that Derek White is a guy that is a late bloomer. It took him a couple of years. He came from the JUCO route, I believe, then went to Boulder and had some decent playing years. I know that Derek White is a late first-round pick, but boy, oh boy, the guy could drive to the hoop. I love the guy's tenacity, veracity. I think that Derek White tonight was absolutely a star. Even when he missed shots, he was aggressive. He was playing like an alpha dog tonight versus the Boston Celtics. He played a lot bigger than Jaylen Brown. And I know that you might think I'm being hard on Jaylen Brown. Bottom line is it's his second year in the league. He's a top 5 pick. With that comes expectation for you to step up and to take control of the summer league game. And he was clamped down tonight by San Antonio. So last night in Utah, we might even throw on a live stream tomorrow night. You guys have been tremendous viewers of Rover Sports. Tomorrow we might even throw up a Jameis Winston highlight video. We're going to watch some more Jameis. And then my boy Matty Lehman's going to join me tomorrow for an interview as well. Thank you guys for watching Rover Sports. Have a great night. Last night in Utah before this show goes to Las Vegas. We will see y'all on the flip side.